challenge.
A bird will do anything to feed its young. Wild and wicked, this beast is for your blood. We tire. She of wisdom and action. We that failed.
Hi, I would like to share a fun build with you, Super Mario Sunshine build for Amazon. First of all, thanks to dev4fun150 from Reddit to name this build, and it indeed expresses how the build works. Just blast everything with a water gun. In Passive Exile 2, the crossbow with Glacial Bolt is our water gun. And the latest Lamont crossbow just made it much smoother. We could avoid reloading the crossbow by sacrificing 300 life, so we can keep shooting forever if we have enough life to cover the cost. Saying that 300 life is not a small number. We need to find ways to make it sustainable, and that's why we need an Amazon. There is a passive node here specific to Amazon, Mystic Harvest, that allows to leech life from the elemental damage. Also, the weapon itself has some leech life in its attributes, and then I'm trying to get in leech from the rings, both rings. So as we could see, my life leech is about 27%. With elemental leech, that is a good cover. Speaking of life leech, there is a very important node on the bottom left side of the passive tree, fast metabolism. This will make the life leech effects continue even if your life is full, so that the life leech experience becomes much better. Other than life leech, it is actually also very important to increase the total life we have. So as you can see, I have about 3000 life, 500 energy shield. That makes the overall survivability much better than if I only have about 1000 or 2000 life and plus energy shield in total. But in order to do that, I actually have to find plus maximum life from every gear I could find. Like the glove would have the maximum life, the belt needs to have that, the boots needs to have that, both rings need to have that, and the amulet. So as much as I could to find the maximum life. Another important thing to mention is this unique life flask. It also contributes a lot to the survivability. Let me just showcase it. In case I missed some life and I want to use the life flask to recover, it is an instant recovery, and you can see the excessive recovery is not wasted, it becomes guard. Guard is a buff that when you take damage, those buff values is going to be used to take those damage instead of directly go to our life plus energy shield. So it is another layer of protection. Looking at my gears, you may find that I'm using 2 Lamont crossbows, and you may wonder, why do I need to use 2 of them? So there are 2 major benefits. First, I use the Glacial Bolt as my main attack skill, but there is some problems to it. despite its very high damage and high efficiency of clearing. Sometimes some mobs just not going to be affected by the ice wall, so they were not going to push the ice wall, and then the ice will not explode, and then it cannot deal damage. So in that case, I can manually explode them by quickly swap to the second weapon set and fire explosive shot to force the ice walls to explode to deal the damage. So this is the first. Also, sometimes you may find that the ice walls actually can block the way that I'm trying to move. In this case, I can use a explosive shot to clear my way as well. So that's probably one of the main drawback of using Glacial Bolt on mapping. Like sometimes you have to find a ways to clear your own path rather than being stuck with it. Other than that, it's super powerful, super fun to use. I think there is a very important tip to share when using two crossbows. So I set the mouse left click to crossbow shoot for the first crossbow, and the right click to the weapon set 2 crossbow shot. And I load different bolt to them. So left click I use explosive shot, and right click I use I load the glacial bolt. In this way I can just say right click to create the ice wall and left click to explode them. So there's no need to manually swap the weapon. It just need to be right click, left click, that kind of thing. Secondly, when killing the pinnacle boss, like T4 dashed, in the video you may find that I'm already able to kill the T4 dashed in one Requiem. However, that's just recent thing after I optimized the build a little bit. Before the optimization, I cannot really kill the T4 dashed in just one Requiem. So in that case, having 2 of them really guarantees that I can safely kill him. An important note here is these 2 Requiem, they don't share cooldown. So if you have 2 Lamont crossbow, you can use Requiem once from one crossbow, and when it's in cooldown, you can immediately start another one. So even if your damage is not enough to take down the pinnacle boss in one go, you can do another trial, and it will certainly die. One more thing. There is a very important information you will need to know. That is, when you use Requiem, it can be easily interrupted if you get light stunned. And if you get light stunned, you are not able to continue deal the damage using the Requiem. Well, the music is still there, but the skill is no longer available. So it is better to not getting light stunned during you use the skill, but I find it's actually very hard to do so. So I take these keystone notes on wavering stance, so I'm not able to get stunned, light stunned whatsoever, at the cost of not able to dodge roll. That's actually a very significant change to the game mechanism. You may or may not like it, but for me, I don't really need to dodge roll. Like, I just need to walk, and the movement speed is good enough, and I don't really need to like dodge for some damage or projectile, that kind of stuff, as like the ice walls, they generally can block the projectile, cheer enemy, or most of the time just to kill them at one go. So I don't feel the need that I need to use a dodge roll. However, not getting light stun is super important when I deal damage to the pinnacle boss, for example, if I getting light stunned, interrupted, I would lost a lot of damage, or my main damage mechanism to challenge the pinnacle boss, so on and so forth. So yeah, just I take this keystone. You may or may not like it, but that's really a important thing to share. Last tip is skill switching in between bossing and mapping. Basically, there is just one switch from the cost of phrase to this curse. So for pinnacle boss, it's better to have to lower their cold resistance, and I don't really have fast action, so I think just soak it in as a passive, as a persistent buff would be very convenient. However, for the mapping, I think cost on freeze with a freezing mark is really making a difference. Basically, the Nova that when you destroy the enemy who are marked will explode to deal a lot of damage. It's similar to, I think the fear is similar to Herald of Ice. Last but not least, there are a few good nodes in terms of scaling cold damage I would recommend to take. This one, freeze build up increase and freeze duration increase, +1 to cold skills, freeze build up increase, and gain extra fire damage for against the frozen enemies. This actually would allow us to also ignite the frozen enemy. That's kind of fun. Freeze build up as well as ignore the elemental resistance for frozen enemies. Freeze build up and increase damage against the frozen enemy. So basically, those are not only make freezing enemy much easier, but also have some special effect against them. That's really fun to play with. So that's basically everything I think it's important to share. Thanks for watching. Good luck. Have fun.